So I actually started running at age 8, initially within the schools, and then I joined the Nanaimo Track and Field Club. I was that all-star kid who pretty much won every race and set records left, right, and center up until about grade 9 when I hit puberty. At this point, I took a little bit of a nosedive and started to struggle. I did stick with the sport until age 18, where I took a bit of a break, and then I eventually found my way back to it, and then turning more of an elite side of it in probably 2008.
Erin and I grew up running together. We ran with our local track and field club. We ran with our school track teams and cross-country teams. We ran drills up and down our cul-de-sac just for fun because we loved running so much. The difference between my sister and I is that running has always been a hobby for me, but for Erin, it is a passion. It's in her blood. Running is something that Erin can't live without right now, and it's amazing to watch her succeed at the running she is doing. I have always called her my speedy sister, but she's become super speedy sister since her marathon debut. So proud of her. I have many, many great memories of spending weekends at track meets with my sister and watching her pour her heart and soul into her races. And when she did well, she was on cloud 9. And when she didn't do so well, it broke her heart. And we all had to deal with sulky Erin for the rest of the day. But all in all, it just showed how much she cared about it and how much she really, truly loved running. And she still does.
I actually can't remember the date or the month, or I certainly know the year. 2008. She happened to be running a half marathon in Eugene the same year I was. And we met, and she was a girl that I certainly noticed. How do you not? She had this grace and style of the way she ran, and she ran a phenomenal time. I think it was around a 1:26 or something at the time for a half. So that's when I met her, or maybe I've met her in the past, but that's certainly when I noticed her as someone that I thought was a pretty neat lady. She's an individual who has an unbelievable amount of drive, competitiveness, direction, qualities that certainly bode well with me. She's an inspiration, and as a friend, it's nice to have someone like that in your life. Yeah. She helps me. She gives advice to me, not even knowing, because of her level of dedication and sort of why I like her. If I can be, I'm humble enough to say, and I'm honored that if I could give her any advice, I would say, continue to do what you do, because it's inspiring, it's passionate, it's contagious, and she's a force to be reckoned with. That's for sure. I keep going, Erin, because you've got a lot in you. That's what I'd say.
What does running mean to me? In all honesty, probably everything at this point. It's my motivation, it's my drive, it's one of the reasons I get up every day. It's my passion. I've been doing it for so long that it's really what I know. There's no day that goes by where I don't really think about running at some point. Days without running, I want to run. The ability to get up every morning and just put my shoes on and run out the door, that's my ideal way to start the day.
Very fast, really, really fast, and very inspiring. I saw her do her debut marathon finish in Victoria just last month, and it almost brought tears to my eyes to watch her, because she was just striding out so beautifully and such a fantastic example to other runners, and it was just beautiful to see. So she's a great runner.
Having Erin in the club as a coach is really inspirational, because she's a really talented runner. So she's really good at motivating us to run as best as we can to try and be like her.
I coach some running room clinics, and I've had her in as a motivational, inspirational speaker a few times. And last year she was in there telling us about the fractured pelvis injury that she had. And then she was telling us about all the miles that she put in and the races that she'd done. And it didn't seem to me that she was doing a lot of extra strength training. And now I know that she is now. And I would definitely encourage her to do a lot more strength training. So it's just not all muscles going forward with the running. She needs to stabilize her knees and her hips, and probably stabilize and get more muscles on top. So I'd really encourage her to do more of a all-rounded strength training.
Currently, when I'm not running, I work part-time as a healthcare aide at a local seniors facility. I'm there right now until September 30th, after which my entire job's been laid off, so the future there is unknown. But I was there for 8 years, and it's very rewarding. It's an honor to get to know so many of my residents, find out how they lived and how they grew up, about their families. Basically, I have many extended grandparents, and while I do tend to lose them in the long run, I definitely wouldn't change a thing.
I say about Erin Barrett. This is a girl who truly has a passion for what she does. I really appreciate being able to sort of shirt tail on that enthusiasm that she has. I love the fact that her perfect choice of a holiday is to go to Arizona, to Flagstaff, for 3 weeks so that she can run at altitude. Running is her ultimate holiday. I love too whenever she races and she posts her results, and then I can create my Erin Wall of Fame with the assistance of residents at Wexford. And they love it. They are invested in her. They think of her as one of their own.
When it comes to a social life, I would say mine is nearly non-existent. When you train 7 days a week, it's really hard to go out and spend late nights out on the town. If I do go out, it's usually just hanging with friends or, staying in and watching a movie. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I'm usually ready for bed, so definitely the 1 a.m. bar nights are not part of my lifestyle. When I think about my idols, I would say there's probably 2 of them. One would be Melindy Elmore, who is 1 year older than me and grew up in Kelowna. She went on to compete for Stanford before eventually competing for Canada in the Olympics and world teams. The second would be Shalane Flanagan out of the USA. She's a 2-time Olympian and actually has a personal best in the marathon of 2:21:14. And she's actually the same age as me, so it's very inspiring to see what she can do. I have pretty great support between my friends and family, whether they're coming out to actual events in person or if they're tracking me online. Like recently with Rotterdam, I had quite a few people, including my mom and some good friends that were up at 1 o'clock in the morning actually tracking my race over in the Netherlands. So the support that they give me, it means the world to me. I know deep down in my heart that when I'm out there on the course that they're there cheering me on. After the Victoria Marathon in October, which was my debut in 2:39:17, I recently went on to race the Rotterdam Marathon a week ago and brought my time down to 2:37:48. While it wasn't the most ideal race and it wasn't quite the time I was looking for, it definitely made me hungry for the future and for my next marathon. Right now, the plans are a little bit up in the air, but there will be a fall marathon. The location is to be determined, whether it could be back in Victoria, over in Toronto, or even maybe in Chicago. The coach and I are in discussions, and that will be decided soon, but we will be going after a fast time.